Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by TravelingTechTeacher.com. For all your digital resources, check out TravelingTechTeacher.com. Also brought to you by TheBullyExposed.com. 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you and get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. So I was asked today, is there a magical unseen force around us? So I have heard psychologists say, yes indeed, there is a force around us. And so you can look at it as a force, or you can look at it. Mitchell, thank you for joining the show. Look at it as a force, or look at it as something that that surrounds us, and when we're happy, okay, the force is really around us. Hip and Humble, thank you for joining the show. It's really around us in a way that helps us keep people away from us. See, when we're happy, we're more aware of what things come at us. That's the way of looking at it. So we won't we're more aware of what people come into our lives, come in our space, right? Because we all have a space that we enjoy. That space is probably the length of your hands. When someone starts to come within the length of your hands, we start to be concerned with what they're doing. And when we are happy, that force, if you want to call it that, is a lot wider. Okay, but when we're unhappy, that force is smaller, and we might allow some people to get close to us that shouldn't. And that's when bullies come in and start to really are able to approach us, and sucker punch us in some cases, and that's how we're able to fall prey to that. So it's important, it's very important to keep yourself happy, to keep yourself healthy, so that force is out wider than where it should be. Okay, and that's a very important thing. So yes, to answer the question, is there a magical, unforeseen force around us? And some people might call it force, some people might call it something else. But whatever it is, it's important to keep yourself happy. And how do you keep yourself happy? You eat right. Okay, you eat right. Another question that we had today is, someone said that when they were dealing with their bully a lot, they had no bowel movements. And yes, on this show we're going to talk about a lot of things that might embarrass some people, but don't get embarrassed, because everyone does it. So there's no reason to get embarrassed for it. So when this person was in the midst of their heavy bullying, they had no bowel movements. And gotta tell you guys this, that's very important. That's very important. You gotta remember, every day our bodies, I've told you this, guys, many times before, our bodies have get rid of toxins in many different ways. And how is that? Well, sweat, urination, and bowel movements. Okay, so if you're not getting exercise and you're not sweating, those toxins are staying in you. If you're not drinking a lot, okay, and you're not urinating a lot. I told you guys, you know, your urine should be clear, okay? Should be clear like water. If you're urinating and it's extremely yellow or yellow, then you're not drinking enough and you're not sweating enough, okay? And then, like I said, so the third one is bowel. So if you think about how unhealthy you are going to be, how sick you can become if you have all these toxins in your body and you're not getting exercise, you're not drinking, so you're not urinating, or exercise for sweating, for those of you that don't know, and then you're not having any bowel movements. So you got to eat the right foods that allow you to have bowel movements. And how many bowel movements should you have a day? You should have at least one bowel movement a day. If you're not having a bowel movement every day, something's wrong. And you shouldn't be going, you know, there's a lot of people that start to go to for after laxatives. Oh, I'm going to take a laxative. That's not healthy for you. You got to eat foods that allow you to have those bowel movements. Hello, my two ladies. How are you today? Oh, Tully, I didn't think you were going to join us today. I'm so glad you joined us. Glad to hear from you. So we're talking about, right now we're talking about bowel movements and how often we should have them, how often we should sweat, how often we should urinate. But we started off the conversation, for those of you that are joining us, someone asked us, is there a magical unforeseen force around us? And many psychologists feel that there is. And when you're happy, okay, when you're happy, this force is out around us, and we pay attention. Good morning to you, my two ladies. And we pay attention to the people that come within that circle, right? Usually the circle is about the length of your hands. And we pay attention when we're happy, but when we're sad, that circle grows smaller. We allow people to get closer to us that should not be closer to us. See, when we're happy, we're aware of the people that are coming into our force, if you want to call it that, or that little circle, that, you know, unforeseen little circle that's around us. But when we're sad, we allow people to get closer to us, and that allows them to do harm to us. Sometimes even when we're happy, we allow people that should not be coming in our circle come into our circle, and then they hurt us. So either way, it can hurt you. No judgment, just love. Just join the show. Thank you for joining the show. So if you guys want to chime in on that, hit the question mark and start the Q&A if you want to chime in on that. So we were also talking about, so how do you keep this force going and happy? My two ladies say, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. So how do we keep it happy? We keep it happy by taking care of ourselves. Again, you guys probably noticed a couple of days ago I had a big beard. I shaved it all and I got a haircut. Taking care of yourself by cutting your hair, getting a shave, a massage is a way to take care of yourself. But one of the most important ways is toxins in our bodies. We got to get rid of those toxins in our bodies. And I hope I don't sound too nerdy. That's not what I'm trying to do here, but it is the truth. We have too much toxins in our body is bad. So how do we get rid of those toxins? So I was telling you before you guys came in and joined in, and one way to get rid of those toxins is to sweat. So let's get exercise. You know, if you don't get a lot of exercise, go somewhere to where you can sweat. Even sweating that out, you know, if you go into a sauna and sweating that out is a way to get rid of those toxins. Urinating. And I tell you guys, you know, I tell you guys all this on the show all the time about this. You know, there's always, everybody's got, well, you should eat, you should drink, you know, whatever, half your weight in water or whatever, you know, all these mathematical things, you know, of how we should be drinking water in order to be healthy as far as drinking water. Well, to me, one dietitian that I spoke to, I sat down and interviewed, to me had the best way, and I confirmed it with a few of my doctors, and they said yes, that's good as well. Your urine should not be yellow. Your urine should be white. So remember that. So you wake up in the morning and your urine is yellow. Drink water until it's clear. And that way you don't have to worry about, well, how much am I supposed to drink? Because I think that's what gets a lot of people upset with dieting, right? With dieting. Oh, I got to watch how much I eat. I got to watch this. I got to watch that. And then people just get frustrated with dieting. And I think same thing happens with water. When you're, how much water should I drink? What should I drink? Oh, I weigh 160 pounds, so I should be drinking, a gallon of water. And forget that math. Who wants to do math, right? Especially you get up in the morning, who wants to do math? Like right now in America, summer is over. Nobody wants to do math. So don't do math. Just do it this way. If it's yellow, keep drinking. That's the way I say it. If it's yellow, keep drinking. For instance, today I woke up and I drank what I call a green machine. Some people call it the Green Monster. It's basically, spinach, a lot of greens in it. Spinach, kale, you name it. I also put in garlic, a clove of garlic, aloe. Today I put aloe and turmeric. And I drank that, and then I drank 20 ounces of, what was it? And the only reason why I know it's 20 ounces is because I put it in a particular jar, or not a jar, but a particular bottle, and it's right on the side, 20 ounces. That's the only reason why I know. If you're wondering why, I thought we weren't going to add, and I am just letting you guys know. So I drank my green machine, or my Green Monster, depending on what you call it, and then I drank 20 ounces of, a fermented tea. With no sugar. So fermented tea. In other words, fermented tea, I make it, I let it sit for 3 days with a cheesecloth cover on it, and then on the third day I start to drink it. Sometimes I bottle it. I'm so busy nowadays with moving, as you guys know, I'm moving. And I'm doing a project, my last project that I will be doing here for a dance company. It's their spring recital, and they did their spring recital virtually. So everybody took video with their phones, and now they're sending me those videos, and I'm putting it together to make like a virtual dance off for them. So I've been really busy with that. But when I drank, my story about my 40 ounces of drink that I drank, when I drank this, when I started to go to the bathroom, my pee, or my urine, I should say, urine was already white. So that's good. And clear, I should say, not white, clear. So that, No Limit King Harry, thank you for joining the show. So that's where you want to be. So I did good today, and I don't always do that, and you're not always gonna do that. Sometimes I don't drink enough. I think yesterday was the day I was so busy that I did forget to drink. I had my green machine, or my Green Monster, but I forgot everything else. And let's put a smiley face here. Why are we looking at the sad face? So I don't always do it, but we should try and do it often. And believe me, if you get into a habit of drinking, of waking up in the morning and drinking, I'm not a breakfast type of person, but breakfast, doctors say, is the most important meal of the day, and a lot of us don't eat it. So that's why and me in particular, I usually don't get up and have pancakes and whatever, French toast. I usually don't do that, or oatmeal or whatever. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I always try to make sure to have a green machine or a Green Monster, so that I can get through the day. So, what else? What do you guys want to talk about? What's going on with you today, my two ladies? And Tully, how are you doing with everything considered? I was so happy to see that you saw our other show, Tully, the one about grief. I was so glad that you liked it. Um, so when we saw that you end up smashing that heart, which we appreciate. Please, guys, remember, with whether you're watching this video live or you're watching the video on a recorded version, always smash the heart. If you don't know what we mean, hit that heart button, press that heart button, smash the heart, comment, so you can start a conversation with someone. Because there's a lot of people, they tell me this too, they just watch the videos. If they don't have time, they just read the comments of what people say. So we have to start having a long list of comments on our shows, so that people can join in and take more interest in it, and maybe learn something from it. Maybe they won't, commit suicide or something negative like that. But let's see. So yeah, so we have to stay positive, mentally, health-wise. We gotta continue to remain positive. And I think, for me, what you put in your body is extremely important to staying positive. Because I think if we put in a bunch of chemicals into our body, then those chemicals start to wear us down, and then we're already depressed. So now we're worn down from our depression or our anxiety or something that, grief. We're weighed down because of that, then we're weighed down because of our food. So we put good things in our body, then it continues it, and it continues us. Because like, if you have depression, you can cure depression by what you eat. Celery, for instance. Celery has the same components that are in some, I'm going to say it again, depression medicine. That's something to think about. Turmeric as well, from what I've been told. Now, this is what I've been told from doctors. I'm not, so when I'm trusting them, I'm trusting that the doctors are telling me what works. And I'm also living proof of it. I told you guys that I have sciatica, but you would never know that I have sciatica, a case of sciatica, because every day I'm eating turmeric or ginger. Those are the two things. Today I put 2 pieces of turmeric in my green monster. So that's my daily my daily shot, I should say, if you want to put it that way, or my daily pill of a I'm just losing words today. A non-inflammatory, an anti-inflammatory. An anti-inflammatory. So my doctor gave me an anti-inflammatory to take every day that would eventually beat up my kidneys to no end when I get older. And I opted for no, ginger and turmeric. So let's see. EOB, thank you for joining the show. And my two ladies say, can we talk again about getting rid of toxic people? How to do that when it's a close family member that then causes guilt. That is tough. I recently interviewed a person who told me that her first experiences with negative treatment because she was of the LGBT community was by her parents. So how do you get rid of your parents when they're the ones that are the bullies, or a cousin or a family member? The best thing that I can do, being that it's family, is sit them down and talk with them and have a real serious talk. Maybe have someone there that both of you trust, so as an equal person, Someone that you trust is going to be fair, and someone they trust. For instance, you don't want to bring your parents into it, because your parents will probably take your side, and you don't want them to bring their parents into it, because their parents will probably take their side. Someone neutral, and sit down and talk with the person and say, your behavior and how your behavior makes them feel. And if the person does not take it serious from that point, then it might be time to disconnect yourself from that family member, because your mental health is what's important. And sometimes you do have to, I've had to take breaks from family members. I've had to do it. And, you got to do what you got to do. You are the one that's important. You have to survive for the next day, or the next, so don't be afraid. That's the funny thing, that I hear people all the time say it about friends, like they have a friend that's just constantly toxic, and it's like, well, they're a good friend and I don't know how to handle it, and they're afraid to say goodbye. And I really don't understand that, because you weren't born with them, or they're not part of your families. You should be able to just say goodbye very easily. But it's very hard by family members. But I can tell you that I have disconnected myself from family members. Yes, I never made it official, and I don't think I don't make it official, because why make it official? Why tell them that and hurt their feelings too? They could be going through something too, and then you drop that bomb on them. They I can't be your friend anymore, or I can't be your family member anymore, and that really hurts them. So I never did that. I just kind of distanced myself from it, and they either got the hint and started to sit down with me and say, let's have a talk, or they just agreed that, yeah, maybe we shouldn't talk, because for whatever reason, they can't be nice around me. I don't know. But yeah, that's very tough, and that's a very, very good question. So kudos to you, my two ladies, for that one. What else did you want to talk about? Getting rid of toxic people. That's yeah. Don't be afraid, guys. Especially on Facebook. It's like, you hear nowadays, I don't know what side any of you are on, and I'm not explaining, I'm not trying to tell you guys to take a side, but with so much going on in America, with how African Americans are treated in America, there's a lot of people that have expressed their opinion about, African Americans in America don't have it hard, and so you really learn a lot of what your friends are really thinking, and a lot of people are ending friendships, ending relationships, basically based on what these people are saying, and some people are just afraid to do it on Facebook. It's like, just do it, you don't have to, justify yourself. You don't have to justify yourself to everyone. Just do it. If you're tired of hearing these things, either way, it could be either way. If you think that Black Lives Matter is nothing but a joke, and you're tired of hearing that, disconnect yourself from that. You shouldn't. That's not saying a lot about the type of person you might be if you're feeling like that, because I've lived it, so I know. So, but if you are, disconnect yourself from that, even if they're family. You should never stay in a relationship because you are, whatever, you're afraid to hurt the kids' feelings, because you're hurting the kids' feelings. A lot of people do that all the time. Oh, I don't want to hurt my child, so I stay married. And it's like, okay, you realize you're hurting your child because you're not you. You're not happy. And if you're not happy, chances are your kids are not happy. Or, whoever you're staying in the relationship for is not happy. That's the way I look at it. But very, very good question. Well, it wasn't a question, but a very good statement. Um, I hope I answered your question. Did you have a follow up on the family members and how to deal with family members? Let me make sure. It's a close family member. How to do it? Okay, you said how to do it. Okay, let me think. I think I might have answered that, but I'll repeat it again if I didn't. Um, you can, if you feel in your heart the person's not going to change, probably want to just do it cold turkey. If you and this person have always I know that I have family members that we've always had a good relationship, and I know that I could talk to them and they're going to listen. If that's the kind of relationship you have with this family member, I think that you can try and sit down with them. And like I said, either have a mediator, which is a family member you both trust, that you both agree on, to sit there and talk with you and just talk and let them know the way you're treating me is very hurtful. Tell them how you feel. Tell exactly how you feel. Do not hold back, even if you have to cry. Do not hold back, and tell them exactly how you feel, how it makes you feel, and can you please stop? I know a lot of people who have been bullied in the workplace, and have ended friendships with family members that they've spent their whole life with, growing up and everything. And the reason is because there are some adults that don't believe that workplace bullying exists. Maybe because we categorize it as bullying. Maybe we should just call it workplace abuse. Some people don't believe that, because they feel, well, if you speak up and you tell that person how you're making it feel, they're gonna stop. And that works for some people. That really works for some people. Like, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen when it comes to workplace bullying or workplace abuse is, I had a friend, he's like, I don't know, 6'11" maybe, I don't know, he was tall. And he had a supervisor that was bullying him. And his supervisor pulled him into the office to scream and yell at him. And he told him, "You're not going to scream and yell at me." I was, how do I know this happened is because I was a steward at this time. And we went in to talk. Usually when you talk with, it depends on the union, but usually when you talk with a supervisor, you want to bring a steward in there with you so that the manager can't say something happened that didn't happen. So that's why I was in there. And the guy just got up and said, "You know what you're trying to do is bully me, and I'm not going to take it. Let's step outside and let's handle this like men. Let's step outside." Now, any boss, I don't understand why this boss didn't take the opportunity to say, "I feel threatened. You just threatened me. I'm going to terminate you based on the fact that you threatened me." You can't go into a job and threaten your boss. You can't, even if it's just with threatening them with a fist fight. But he did. He said, "Let's go. Let's take it outside. Let's take it outside." And the boss was like, "Oh, you're misunderstanding me, blah, blah, blah." And the bullying ended. And I'm going to assume that that's how he handles all his workplace bullying. But it doesn't work like that for everybody. And some people don't understand that. They should just consider themselves lucky that they threatened their boss and did not get terminated. But they don't think that. They say that's how you handle it. And it does help when you're 6'11", right? When you're 6'11", and this guy was built like a door, like a house pretty much. And when you threaten someone and you're that big, it helps. And people don't understand that. But when you're 4'11" and you're a female, or you might be a person of short stature, okay, and you're being bullied and you feel you're being bullied, you can't say, "Let's step outside." Because the boss is going to terminate you, because they know you really don't hold a threat because of your height, or that you might be a woman. Not that that's right. Whatever the case may be. So, to be able, some people are just amazing to be able to say this is how you handle in that, like it's it's a glove, one size fits all. Bullying is not one size fits all for bullying. What might work for me will not work for you, or work for someone else may not work for me. Okay, so, and people don't understand that. So, to get back to what we were saying, and I've had people that's, I can't talk to my cousin anymore. I can't talk to my brother anymore. And he thinks I'm crazy. He thinks, you know, the way I look at it, if I ever had anyone say to me, "You just go in there and you just stand up for yourself, and take them, tell them, let's step outside." Okay, I would simply say, "Okay, great, good idea. Show me how it's done. Show me how it's done. Go in there and say, I heard you've been bullying my brother or my sister, or that you are a bully. Let's take it outside and let's take it and see how that works." It's, it doesn't work for everyone, but you big guys and girls, whatever, because I've met some tall girls as well who have threatened people, and the abuse has stopped. You are lucky. You are one in a million, okay? And you need to understand that, and we need to start to have empathy for people that, one, may not want to punch somebody in the face. Not everybody's like that, Not everybody's like that. And we have to understand that there are people that violence is never an option, for some people. And I'm going to be honest, I think that's that's a very dangerous way. I'm sorry. It's not a bad way, but it's a very dangerous way to think, because if someone is pounding on you, that's when it has to be, okay, I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence, but now is the time for violence, or I can get extremely hurt. I've seen kids, I've read a story, this one I've only read, of a girl who her head was slammed on the concrete, back of the head slammed on the concrete, the bully did, and she died from that. So that is the time where you have to say, okay, I'm not a violent person, but I could end up being permanently damaged or killed if I continue to just sit here and say no violence. And there's one thing that I tell you guys all the time, that when you know how to handle yourself physically, to get back to our subject, that force, if you want to call it that, because that's what the person who gave me the question said, that force becomes wider. I tell you guys this all the time, and I'm always going to repeat this stuff because I know not everybody watches every episode. But my son is a black belt in Taekwondo. He's 16 years old now. I've asked him, and I continue to ask him all the time, if you ever had to use your Taekwondo against a bully. And he has never had to use it. And I think the reason why he's never had to use it is because he has this force, around him. This green force, whatever color it may be. The thing we don't want it to be is blue. We never want to be blue. But he has a green force around him that people look at him and say, oh, this guy has confidence. And they either don't want to bully him, they just want to be his friend. Or when he ends up in a situation where it's time for him to say, hey, relax, calm down, or whatever, it never happens. So I think even if you're a person that doesn't like violence, I still think you should learn how to defend yourself. Because, you can believe in God, you can believe in faith, you can believe in whatever you want to believe. I'm not trying to push anyone's belief on anyone, but faith or God or whatever it is takes care of those people who know how to take care of themselves. And that's what it has to come down to. So, but I do know a lot of people who will not strike another person no matter what. No matter what. And those people, unfortunately, end up sometimes in some bad situations where they get extremely hurt. So teach your children how to defend themselves. Learn how to defend yourself. And you will see that this aura or this force that we have will be green, which is good, and will be wider than you can ever imagine. So my two ladies, say good point, thank you. And she says it again. Such a great point, thank you. And it's true, and it's weird. And you guys are probably like, wow, this guy Richard from Live Feed with your host Richard Santiago, sponsored by TravelingTechTeacher.com, is so smart. No, I figured this out by watching. My son's only 16 years old. So I've learned recently that he's never had to use, we put him in that so that he's not bullied. We put him in that so he can handle himself against a bully. And he never had to handle it. If we never taught him that, he would have carried himself a certain way that would have made him, bullies think, this guy, I can make him a target. I can make him a victim. And nothing's going to happen. So it's weird how life works. It's very weird. How do I put it? It's like I can remember when I first bought my own house. Okay. The garbage disposal was always breaking down. Okay, and these plumbers, some of them are crooked, so they would replace the whole piece and charge me more. When a friend of mine told me all you have to do is fix this and do something, you buy a certain tool and you fix it and you're good to go. So I paid a little money, I bought that tool, and guess what? The garbage disposal never had that problem again. Maybe, well, that's not true, and I'm thinking maybe once. But when I didn't have it, it was a pain in the butt, and it was always having to be done. But once I bought the tool, I no longer had the problem. And that is what martial arts is. That is martial arts, learning to defend yourself, learning to speak up. That's what it is. Once you have that tool, and you can't only have the tool, you have to know how to use it. That's important too. And me having the tool was nothing. My friend had to teach me how to use it. So once you have the tool, once you learn how to use it, you never need it anymore. It's one of those weird things. That's how life is, guys. That's how life is. But when you don't have the tool, you find that you'll need it way too much. Way too much. So it's important to get the tools. Get the tools that you need to defend yourselves against bullies. Now, a workplace bully, that's a little different animal, but getting the tools is like, have something so you can record your bullying so that it's not, that never happened. Oh yeah, it didn't happen? Doop. You press it and, there you go. No, talk to lawyers. Know what is it that judges are looking for when someone's trying to claim workplace bullying. A nice journal with times, dates, who was there, what was the outcome, witnesses, all those kind of things. I think bullies are weak inside and only pick on those that can't handle it. I think she meant to say, or can't handle. Yes, they do. Some of them. There is a unique bully, I will admit. And this bully is, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call him the super bully. The super bully. He does know how to defend himself. He may have a black belt in Taekwondo like my son too. When you stand up to him, he'll go and get more people to fight against you, which is very dangerous. I've told this story before. My two ladies, you probably have not heard it, but there's a young lady that I spoke to one time who she told me that she stood up to a bully one time and a bully picked up a pencil and stabbed her in the face. So I'm going to tell you guys the way it really is. I'm not going to just sugarcoat and give you the parts that smell good. I'm going to give you the parts that smell bad too. And this is one of them. So you have to really be careful when you stick up to a bully. You know, you stick up to a bully, they can get a bunch of other bullies together. And that's why I tell you guys too. It's important. I always tell you guys, listen to your bully, right? And think like your bully. If a bully, you stand up to a bully, he knows he can't take you on his own. So he goes and gets another bully. So you need to always stick in groups. It is a fact that when people stick in groups of 3 or more, they're more likely not to be bullied. So what do? Like I tell you guys all the time, instead of sitting with your head down and looking at the ground all the time, look up, look around the room, canvas the room. You see that kid sitting by himself, go up and introduce yourself. Hey, how you doing? My name is, add your name. You mind if I sit here and talk with them? Maybe they might say, no, I'd rather be alone. You know, maybe try again the next day. But look for those people. And it really makes me sad when I talk to kids and they say, no kids want to sit with me. I can't find anyone. And I say, have you ever looked around the cafeteria to see if other kids are sitting by themselves? And they say no. A good percentage of the time they say no. So then how can you say no kids want to sit with you? Kids are afraid to approach you. That's what we got to understand. Just like you're afraid to approach someone, whether you're in the workplace or you're in school. Just like you are afraid to approach someone and say, hello, how you doing? My name is Richard. Can I sit here? They are too. So they're not going to approach you. So you have to be the one. Or hopefully both of you have seen my show. And you guys approach each other at the same time and say, hey, I watch a great show that says I should seek the person sitting by himself. I see you sitting by yourself. I want to say hello. And that's it. And my 2 ladies says, oops, only pick on those they can squash. Okay. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And but if you decide to be the person that does not want to hit or hurt anyone, you got to at least be the person that learns how to bob and weave. And we have a video for that. We can show you guys. Just DM us and we'll send you the link. So you can bob and weave the punches, or you got to be a person that's aware of your surroundings so you don't pin yourself in a corner and end up getting punched. When we first started this show, there would be a lot of people that would send me videos of kids being, bullied, and a lot of them put themselves in situations where the bully has cornered them. See, the bully is talking to you slowly, and he's moving, and he's putting you into a corner because he's not a good fighter. So he has to adjust everything just right so that he could punch you. And a lot of them have learned how to corner kids into a corner and then start to hit them. And you got to be aware not to get yourself put into that situation. That is extremely important, not to get pushed into that situation. Watch your sights, watch where you're at. And I told you guys this lots of times on my videos. Practice with someone. So you sat there and you saw the kid sitting by himself. You go and introduce yourself. You and him become friends. You get one more other person involved. So now you're 3. So now you lowered the chances of being a victim of bullying, because now you're a trio, right? So now you go and you invite that trio over to your house. Get out some Vimeo.com videos, which is a proud sponsor of the BullyExposed.com, by the way. Get yourself a Vimeo account. And by the way, I do want to say this. Follow our Vimeo account at thebullyexposed.com at Vimeo.com. Anyway, so you go on there. You look at all these videos. Mia Rosie, thank you for joining the show. And you start to practice what's on there, and practice with your friend. Even if you don't want to practice punching someone, you can practice to have one of your friends try to back you, or both of your friends try to back you into a corner, and you figure your way to get out, and then make someone else the bully You got the two bullies versus the one person, and then rotate and rotate until you guys figure that out. Pico, konnichiwa. Thank you for joining the show, Pico. How are you doing? And that's what I would do. That's what I would do. You know, that's the one thing about learning to defend yourself. It's not, you don't just pop in a video and watch the video and now you're, Mike Tyson. No, that's not how things work. You have to practice that, and then you have to stay in shape. You have to stay in shape. It doesn't matter if you're a little heavy set. Some people think that being in shape means that you're thin. Hola, ¿cómo está? And that's not what it is. You can be a little heavy set and still be in shape to defend yourself. We're talking about shape to defend yourself. We're not talking about the shape of an Olympic athlete or a NBA basketball star. Okay, we're just talking about being in shape to defend yourself, and that's something that I would practice every day. And if you think as when I was a youth that I didn't work out, that I didn't practice, boxing was one of my things. You think I didn't practice boxing and all that? I did as a kid, because you have to stay ahead of the bully, and it's just something we should all do, whether we're boys or girls, men or women. It's something we should all do. And I told you guys this 1,000 times too. When we were, cavemen, whatever, and we hunted for our food, and we had to learn how to defend ourselves, because one, we had to be in shape to hunt our food, right? Two, we had to be in shape because while we're hunting our food, somebody could be hunting us, right? A bear, a wolf, a pack of wolves could be hunting us. So we had to stay in shape. We had to always keep weapons on us. And then as we became a civilization, we learned, we don't have to do that anymore. But unfortunately, there's still wolves around, guys. There's still wolves around that will hunt you. Lee 2004, thank you for joining the show. There are still wolves that will hunt you, and we don't call them wolves anymore. What do we call them? Bullies, right? So they're still around, and in my opinion, we still have to keep our weapons on us, no matter what it may be. We have to keep ourselves in shape so that if we decide to run, which I've said this 1,000 times, there's nothing wrong with running from a fight, okay, guys? But if we have to run, we're in shape and we can run. But, living in civilization nowadays, it's like some people don't ever get exercise. Some people don't eat the right foods, and they find themselves having to fight for their lives, and they don't have the stamina to keep it up. So remember that just because we live in a more modern civilization doesn't mean there aren't wolves around. And if you look at it that way and you think of it that way, you'll be a lot better. Let's put it that way. So what else? Lee 2004. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Where are you from? I always like to know where the new people are from. Pico, how is work? Did you just get out of work? How is work? Talk to me, guys. Or ask me a question and then I can keep going on. But for those of you that are just joining us, we're talking about is there a magical, unforeseen force around us? And it is. And when we're happy, the force is bigger. Lee says, USA, awesome. There's a force around us. When we're happy, the force is wider. When we're sad, the force is smaller. And when the force is smaller, we allow people to bully us or get into our circle or our force that we normally wouldn't. And when someone gets closer, they're closer enough that they can hurt you. And whether it could be physically or it can be, in your heart. So we always have to stay happy so our force stays green and that we are aware of who we're letting in to that little circle Again, we don't have to call it a force. I'm just calling it that because the person who DM'd us this question wrote force, so we're keeping it force. But you can call it whatever you want. You know, one thing that I had a teacher do this once, and I thought it was very, very interesting. And you guys should do this. Next time you're with your significant other or someone you trust, you want someone you trust, do this little test. You have them close their eyes. I mean, you could have them close their eyes or you close your eyes. And, no, I did it wrong. First, you have them open their eyes and you put your finger right on their nose without touching it. As close as you can get to their nose without touching it. And you tell them, did you feel that funny sensation that you felt as I got closer to your nose? And yeah. Okay, that's your little safety device. That's your little spider sense, let's put it that way. Telling you that this person might be getting too close. You know, now you tell them to close their eyes. And you tell them that you're putting their finger close to their nose, but you're really not. And then you tell them, do you feel that spider sense? Do you feel it? Do you feel that same thing? Most people would say, yeah, I feel it. Okay, open your eyes. And your hand's not in front of them. So see, we have this force, for lack of a better word, or this thing, this spider sense that tells us something. When we have our eyes closed, it's there because we don't know what's going on. And when you feel like that, it's time to get out of a situation. And so sometimes some people feel like that and they keep themselves in the situation. And that's how they get these videos that you see where they're being beat up and kicked on the bathroom floor. Because they're sorry, I was filling my vape. Oh, okay. Okay. No problem. Hey, no problem. It's all right. The great thing about this, if you can't be live, is you could always see it in the recorded version, and you can leave a comment. You could smash that heart. You could leave a comment and you can share it. It's important to do those things because, as I mentioned before, we had one of our followers share one of our videos. And I believe from talking with the person that the person was about to commit suicide, and they saw one of our videos and they decided not to. They said something to the effect, I was feeling really low. I'm paraphrasing. I was feeling real low, lowest part of my life, and I saw your video. And then they became a follower, and now they watch our videos all the time. So please share the videos. You could save someone's life. Okay? You could save someone's life. So it's important to always smash that heart. Comment to start some dialogue going. Share the video and follow us if you're not already following us. So, what's the next question? What's the next statement? Let me see if I could recap of what we talked about. We talked about your body absorbs toxins either by breathing in toxins, by toxins touching the skin, by what we eat, we consume toxins. And the important thing to do when we consume toxins is to get rid of them. And how do you get rid of them? By sweat, exercise, by urinating, drinking a lot, and by having bowel movements. I know that's gross and scary and disgusting, but you gotta have those three things every day, guys. So Lee says, I feel low. Oh, I'm sorry. What is going on, Lee? Talk to us. We got 7 minutes before the end of the show. Let's talk about what's bothering you. And I'm glad that you decided to bring that up. Sandra, thank you for joining the show. Sandra, I hope I pronounced that right. Sandra M, thank you for joining the show. So talk to us, Lee. What's going on? Why do you feel low? What's the problem? While we're waiting for an answer from her, when you're feeling low, guys, it's important to remember to eat right. Eat right all the time. Get plenty of fluids. Eat. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Eat healthy foods. Okay, good healthy foods like kale, broccoli, stuff with a lot of roughage to get rid of all that stuff in your body. I don't really feel comfortable saying it in the live. Okay, do me a favor, please. DM us. Okay, there's 3 people that run this account. Okay, DM us, and one of us will try our best to answer your questions and talk with you and help you. Okay, how old are you, Lee? And guys, I'm so glad that Lee said that she doesn't feel comfortable. That is okay. Okay, I know a lot of you don't like asking us questions on the live or asking us questions on our post because other people can see and you feel uncomfortable. That is okay. DM us, get in touch with us somehow. Go to thebullyexposed.com, find our email. And Pico says, I have to go. Sorry. No problem, Pico. Thank you. Smash that heart on your way out, please, Pico. Yes, you have a nice day too. So you're 16. Okay, yes. Do me a favor, DM us, and one of us will get back to you and talk with you and try to figure out what's the best thing to do. Sammy the Salmon, thank you for joining the show. What a nice name. Love it. I love it. I love you guys. Creativity with your names. But yes, you don't have to talk about things, guys, that you feel uncomfortable in the live. I totally understand. It's live. Everyone's seeing it. Everybody's hearing it. And I totally understand and I totally get that. So there's always the option of DMing us. And there's always the option of emailing us as well. Oh, sorry, guys. Excuse me. It's 10 o'clock in the evening where I'm at. Or 2200 for those of you that I think it's called world time. We call it military time in the U.S. For those of you that follow world or military time, it's 22:26. But yeah, you gotta remember, guys, that you might not think of it, but if you're feeling low, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad, your diet is very important. What you intake is very important. So you really have to take in foods that are good for you, that help to get rid of that. For instance, if you're feeling depressed or anxious, celery helps with that. And I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I like to take peanut butter, okay, and I put a little hot peppers in it, and I put a little syrup in it, and I'll mix that around, and I'll eat that with my celery, and that's very, very, very good for you. Well, it seems that our show is coming to an end, guys. I want to thank everyone that came on the show, especially our new friend Lee, and I look forward to receiving your DMs, Lee, or your email about what's going on and how we could help. I want to thank our good friend Pico for always coming on, Sammy the Salmon, Sandra M. Who else we got here? My two ladies and Tully that came on. Thank you for smashing the heart. We do appreciate that. No judgment, just love. Thank you all you guys for joining the show. We do this every day. The time may change, but we do this every day. And we want to remind you that live feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, please check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, and that is thebullyexposed.com. Get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. Remember, guys, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, guys, and have a great day. Bye now.